Hello, hello. This is Christina, your host today. And today is a new episode of KSM Podcast, Growing Business Online with Christina. And I wanted to say that my pleasure is today to have my special guest speaker, Mr. Jaryd Krause. Jaryd, welcome to the new episode of KSM Podcast.
Thank you, Christina. Thanks for having me.
And tell us a little bit about you, who you are, and where are you from?
Sure. My name's Jaryd. I am from Australia originally. I live in Indonesia, in Bali. I'm obsessed with surfing and traveling the world. So that's why I started to try and make an income online to replace my income as a plumber. I used to be a plumber. I hated my job. I hated my life at the time and changed it dramatically since.
That's really fantastic, and I'm super happy to have you today because you mentioned that you live in Bali and you're from Australia, and uh, I wanted to share with us what is your background in terms of your business and what do you do now?
Sure. My background is I was a plumber. So I knew nothing about online businesses. I tried to start two businesses and failed and realized that I was going to have to continue being a plumber if I didn't work out what I could do to replace my income. So after two, I came across a statistic that 90% of all startups fail. And I thought, if 90% of startups fail, that means I've got another 8 businesses that I need to start to find one that's successful. And I just don't have the stomach for that. So I thought to myself, can I go away and buy an established online business that can allow me to quit my job and travel the world and surf? And so from researching, I found that there were online businesses that people were selling, but there was nobody around teaching people how to acquire these businesses. So I had to teach myself how to acquire a business, do the due diligence and make sure I didn't get scammed. And I bought my first business in 2014. And then that went really well. So I bought a second one in 2015 and a third one in 2016. So I bought 3 businesses in 3 years. From the first 2 businesses I bought, I was making more money than my current job as a plumber. So I quit my job as a plumber and I was able to quit and travel around the world and start surfing. So I quit at the end of 2015. So it's nearly been a full decade that I've been making money online a little bit longer than that. And then in 2016, people started asking me, hey, what do you mean you travel the world, you don't work, and you have a couple of online businesses? You need to teach me this stuff. So I then created a course and just gave it to everybody, all the people that I've met for free, my friends and my family that wanted to learn this so they could buy a business too. And then nobody really did anything with the course. They weren't really held accountable by a price tag. So what I started to do is I started to charge for it. And when I started charging, it just blew up. The business went really, really well. And we now help people acquire online businesses. And from doing that, people, once they'd bought a bunch of businesses, they would say, Jaryd, what do I do now? How do I grow it? So I'd help them grow it. And then once they've grown it and they wanted to exit, they asked me the same thing. What do I do now if I want to sell it? So what we actually do now is I help people find, acquire great, profitable existing online businesses. I also have a marketing agency where we help them scale and grow them. So they can buy the businesses, they can give it to us to micromanage and grow. And then when they're ready, we can sell them to my audience as well.
That's fantastic. It sounds great, because, and also KSM Podcast Growing Business Online with Christina is so dedicated to small business owners, females and males who wanted to spread the word about their business and scale it, or just if they wanted to just to spread the word and story about their business and on an international level. And you are such a right person and guest speaker to talk about online business. It's really fantastic. Sorry, and Jaryd, can you tell me a little bit about what type of business do you? How do you? It doesn't matter what type of online business is. Maybe for our listeners who wanted to start something like that, or they wanted to buy some business, or maybe they wanted to sell it.
Yeah, so there's 3 main types of online business models that I explain. You've got media businesses, then you've got e-commerce businesses, and then you've got recurring revenue membership or SaaS businesses. A media business is basically a business that produces media, and they make money from affiliate partnerships or sponsorships, and sometimes even selling leads. And how they make money is they produce content, and it can be a blog. A blog is a content site or a media business. Could also be a YouTube channel. It could be an Instagram account, TikTok account, Facebook page, Facebook group, where the owner of the business will produce media where it harnesses and builds an audience, and they make money through advertising spots and affiliate relationships and partnerships. Sometimes those media businesses grow into e-commerce businesses. What e-commerce businesses are, most people know these. They sell products. They can sell physical products or digital products. And there's many different types of e-commerce businesses. You got Shopify e-commerce businesses, which are, sell via your own sales channel. Then you've got Amazon businesses, then you've got TikTok businesses, Instagram shops, all these different types of shops. They're all e-commerce businesses. And then we have SaaS, which stands for software as a service, which is basically where people will pay a monthly, quarterly, or annual fee to a recurring service that's a software. That might be like a cloud, like maybe like Apple iCloud, or it might be like Google Drive. It might be like Zoom. It's a software that people use and they'll pay a monthly fee for. And then we've got membership businesses, which basically sell content as well, where people will pay per month to view the content. And that's what I have. I have a membership business at the moment. We might be changing it back to course model, where people now pay a monthly fee or an annual fee to get access to our services. And then we might be changing it to a one-time product as a course. But they're the main types of business we help people buy. Typically, people start out with a media business or an e-commerce business and then work their way up to membership and SaaS businesses.
And yes, sounds good, And in terms of your business, and you mentioned that you have your agency, is it correct? Agency?
Yeah.
Who is the most your clients? Who are people who use your membership based business, or just for listeners maybe who wanted to connect with you and that you can help them to move forward and scale their business, or they wanted to buy online business?
Yeah. So the marketing agency, what we do is once people have acquired an online business, what they do is they go away and they need to gain organic traffic, or maybe they need help with their digital marketing. Say, for example, it's a blog where they get organic traffic from Google and they're making money through ad revenue or affiliate revenue, or maybe even it's an e-commerce business wanting organic traffic. We help them build out SEO campaigns that can boost the authority of that business in the eyes of Google and search engines, that can allow them to rank higher in the search engines and acquire organic traffic. We also do help people with marketing campaigns like on Facebook ads and Google ads as well, help them scale their businesses too.
Through my so long career, we built websites for 14 years, and this is how I coaching, and I started with my podcast, but also I do SEO as well. But everything what I do is organic, in terms of I don't do like a Facebook ads or something like that. In terms of like my background in my freelance business journey. Yeah, that's lovely. But and what I wanted to say that sometimes when through my journey in online space, I really wanted to connect with people, and sometimes I put my competition in a way to collaborate, not just to be like competitors, because there are different approaches to the business,
Yeah, I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm not exactly sure what you meant by that.
I mean, sometimes, for example, it was one lady in US, and they build websites, and we were connected. So if it's easier for her because the English is her native language, and sometimes some of clients, connect with her, for example. I wanted to say that I sometimes attract my competitors to work together in some way.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
This is some my way of approaching. And and what is your experience, in terms of client satisfaction working with you?
What do you mean, my experience, or what?
When clients work with you and after that, how do they feel? I always ask my speakers if they are coaches? What is with their clients before they start working with them and after? This is my
Yeah, so
question.
that's a great question. Before people start working with me, they have no idea how to make money online. They know how to send an email and use Facebook and Instagram. That's about it. Typically, most people are like that until they come to my realm and they learn a lot. And then we help them acquire a business that's already profiting, right? So we help people buy established businesses that are past that 90% failure rate, and they're established and already turning over a profit and been in business for a year or multiple years. And when they purchase those businesses, it's a massive lifestyle change, because typically they can work towards replacing their income. Once they have replaced their income, they no longer need to work. So they get to do what we set out to do as a company, is to help people have more time to spend with the people they love, doing the things they love. And so it's a massive lifestyle change, and they're absolutely thrilled. Yeah. I mean, also sometimes people are like, great, you've helped me buy this great business. And then after that, it's, can I continue working with you? How can you help me grow it? So it's very positive. I'm very lucky, because with the startup space, a lot of people that try to teach people to start businesses, like I said, 90% of startups fail. So a lot of their students fail. A lot of my students that acquire a business, they're already established businesses. So it's just being in the right place to make sure I can foster success in people's journey in the online business space.
And when you mentioned that 90% startups failed, is that correct?
Yes, that's
And
a
from
statistic from the Small Business Administration study in America, 90%. Yeah.
And in terms of startups, that can you just for our listener explain it, for example, because there are people who are not too much familiar with startups, and also startups are in a way to, when someone build it, they wanted to sell it as a established company. But as you mentioned, and do you have experience why startups fail?
Yeah. I do know why startups fail. Most of the reason that startups fail is because when people want to start a business, what they do is they go out and find a product that they want to sell, and they buy a bunch of product, or they create a service that they want to sell. What they do is they've created this business, right? That's the easy part. It's easy to create a business. The hardest part is selling the product. So the hardest part is getting organic traffic from Google. The hardest part is running Facebook ads, Google ads, and actually selling your product to an audience. Most people that start a business go around it the completely wrong way. What they do is they find a product, and then they try to build an audience around the product. However, if you went the opposite way, and say, for example, you were obsessed with something like surfing, for me, you could create a media channel, right? You could create a media business where you create media, and it might be a podcast, it might be a YouTube video, and it might be an Instagram account. It could be all three of them as well, where you just talk about surfing, your passion for surfing, you get different guests on about surfing. And then eventually, once you've built up this audience that the people love surfing, then what you can do is you can work out and survey them and ask what their biggest problems are. Ask what their wants, needs, fears, and frustrations and desires are. Once you work out what their biggest problem is and it's not being solved in the market, then you can go and create a product and ask people, hey, if I create this product for you that doesn't yet exist and you're saying that you want it, will you pay for it? You can even ask them how much they'd be willing to pay in a survey as well. So then once you've done that, you've got an audience, and then you actually ask them what they want to spend their money on. You're going to create a product that sells like hotcakes, because you have an audience that want it. They're hungry for it. They've already said they're going to pay cash for it. You create the product that the market wants, versus thinking about what the market wants, not actually knowing, and buying a bunch of that and trying to sell it and not knowing how to sell it.
Yeah, it sounds great, because and startups, as you mentioned, and in terms to, and for example, when people just have business idea, they wanted to start, maybe they put some cash in that, or maybe they can get some credits or start with that, and sometimes they don't know where to go because of clients, and startups just
Yeah, I'm not an advocate for a startup either. Like I know how they work. I've started my own business before, multiple times, and failed more than I have been successful. The one that I've been successful in is the one that I didn't really need to try too hard in, because people were already coming to me asking about my lifestyle, wanting what I had. So the audience sort of started to come to me just by me doing what I was already doing. I would say if people's sole goal is to make an income online or make money online, and you don't care about what the product or service is, and you just want to make money so you can replace your income or so you can have a better lifestyle, do not start a business. That's a silly way to go, because 90% of those are going to fail. What you should do is my opinion is, and it's a biased one as well, of course, caveat, but is to acquire one that's already making the money and it's already established. There's already proof that it's working. So why not, if your goal is only money, why not buy something that's already providing that? But if you actually are super passionate about an industry or a niche or something that you're passionate about, like a hobby, and there's a product or a service that doesn't yet exist in that space, and you know a bunch of people that want it, and you're prepared to be in that business for 10 years or more, then it's not just about the money, it's about the love, then that's a good reason to start a business, but not just for the money.
Yeah, and you mentioned, this totally cool, what you mentioned about. Yeah, I love that. And I know that you run your podcast. Is it correct? You have your own. Can you share
Yes.
with us about your podcast? And it's
Yeah,
also
sure.
about online business, because we're
Yes.
so like hosts, so share with us. And the next question, when you share about your podcast, is the other question is about podcast monetization.
Sure. So my podcast is Buying Online Businesses podcast. We've been ranked in the top 2 best passive income podcasts online, one under Pat Flynn, which is we're coming for you, Pat. Very, very proud of that. We've worked really, really hard on it. In terms of podcast monetization, I used to monetize my podcast through some advertising snippets and people that are in the industry, like brokers that would broker businesses. Now I don't accept sponsorship spots for the podcast. We sponsor our own podcast for our own products and services. So like my marketing agency, we have a SEO service that we sponsor on our podcast. And then I also sponsor my free opt-in, which is my due diligence framework, which takes the guesswork out of buying an online business that people can go away and download for free. And that's how we build our email list and, build our business, is through the podcast.
And in terms of call to action, do you put there your call to action below your audio version or new YouTube channel, and just share with us, because there are sometimes people who just wanted to know about how to monetize their podcast, or they wanted to start podcast and just, if they wanted to have as a lead magnet only for free or solo or with guest speakers, or just for our listeners, because you're also experienced podcaster, just to share with us.
Of course. Yeah, I've been interviewed hundreds and hundreds of times on different podcasts. We're also close to 300 episodes on my podcast, so it's nearly 5 years now, maybe even longer. And you need to sort of test what your niche and your audience and industry actually likes and resonates with. Sometimes, a short little snippet at the start or short little sponsorship spot at the start of your podcast will work really well, where you let people know about your free resource to get on your list. That's now, you said monetization. Of course, I've got 95% of the people that come through and work with our brand, our company, come from my email list. So it's not about just getting people on the email list, but you also need to have an email marketing system to sell them a product or service as well. So there's a whole strategy of how to grow a business with content and media, from the shortest 30-second reel or YouTube or TikTok video to get people to the long-term version, to listen to your content for a long period of time, to build trust with you enough to then say, I'm willing to give up my email address to be on your email list to listen and learn more from you because I trust you now. Once they're on the email list, then you also build and continue that relationship, and you want to build it even stronger to build the trust level enough for them to go away and purchase a product or service from you. So that's the holistic approach. And you want to draw people into you by creating the best possible content in your space around that subject.
Sounds great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And by the way, I wanted to share, as you mentioned, KSM Podcast Growing Business Online with Christina is on top 20 or 20 the best by fit spots to follow in category of online business in 2023 and now in 2024, which I'm super proud of. And I got an email from owner of that platform. So I'm super happy with that because I didn't know about it. So people, when I uploaded this podcast, it was like because of there are many category and also metrics, ages of podcast, guest speakers, topics. So this is such a for me obligation to do it better and better and get it and engage guest speakers who are so so valued and for listeners to get to know much more about online business.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And you mentioned in terms of your podcast online business, and what are the mostly brand which you speak to people? What the as a business owner, or who are your speakers on your podcast? You mentioned or your clients, or
Yeah,
or
on my
work with
podcast,
them.
we have a different wide variety of guests. I typically only speak to people that have acquired businesses or help people acquire businesses. Typically, sometimes it's very rare that we'll get a guest on that helps people grow a business, like marketing, but they'll be very specialized in their space. Sometimes it's specialized in email marketing, Google ads, YouTube ads, and SEO. We do talk to a lot of SEOs actually. Now, most of the guests are people that help people either acquire businesses or sell businesses. And I do have my own clients come on and share their experience of buying their own first business or buying multiple businesses to build a portfolio. So it's mostly about acquiring businesses and a little bit about growing and a little bit about selling.
That's fantastic. You share such an amazing story today because it looks like a, online business session. Because to be honest, I really learn from my guest speakers and sometimes get a lot and answers on something what I don't know or what I really wanted to know. Sometimes every single time you have such a different energy with different guest speakers. And
Absolutely.
in terms of buying and selling online business, what would be a message to our little audience, to listeners, if they wanted to engage with something like that? And also, you can share your connection info about your website and how people and listeners can reach out to you. I will put all information below this podcast, this episode. But anyway, just for people who will listen, just maybe it's easier when they hear about how they can connect with you, or if you have some kind of free consultation or freebie, whatever you have that listeners can connect with you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so if somebody's looking to buy or acquire an online business, established online business, what I suggest to them is make sure they go away and learn how to do due diligence or have a professional acquire the business for you. I do both. I help people learn to find and acquire the businesses themselves by them learning how to do due diligence. You can get my due diligence framework at buyingonlinebusinesses.com/free resources. That's a tool that I use, all my clients use. It's helped people make millions of dollars and it's helped people save millions of dollars by acquiring the right business. It also takes the guesswork out of buying a business. So you can get that as a freebie. My main website is buyingonlinebusinesses.com. My name is Jaryd Krause. And you can also, if you wanted somebody to acquire a business for you, if it's high six figures or 7-figure plus, I do buy-side M&A advisory, M&A standing for mergers and acquisitions. And I'm the buy-side advisor where I will actually go out, source the deal for you and do the due diligence, do the legals, negotiate and acquire the business for you, and then build out a growth strategy. So there's a few different things that we do offer. If it's not just acquiring a business and you already have an online business and you do want help growing it, then we do offer free marketing strategy sessions. They're not sales calls. Basically what we do is we look at your business, we create a strategy after a call, and then we present it to you. We don't try and sell it to you. If you like the strategy, you can go away and have us build it out for you. If not, then you can go away and use that strategy and do it yourself. So there's a few different things that we do offer, but people are interested in inquiring, buyingonlinebusinesses.com, reach out to me and send me an email. I'm happy to help.
Oh, that's fantastic. And how people can, how people should be your guest speakers? What is the condition to be your clients, or just to be someone who wanted to buy or have experience, or who was working with you or work with you, or who want to work with you to be a guest speaker on your podcast? Maybe for listeners, because your podcast is such a, I was listening some of episodes and sounds great, just to be, it's honor to be a guest speaker on your podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
For somebody to qualify to come on my podcast, it would be, become a client and acquire a business, or already have experience, already have bought a business before or sold a business before that you would be open to talking about in detail to come on the podcast.
Yeah. And Jaryd, it was really a pleasure talking to you today. And I asked you many questions, but I still know that we can connect again, maybe next year,
Absolutely.
and to speak on some topic, or just to see about your business. And I'm super happy to have you today and shared for our audience your story and who you are, what you do, and it's really impressive what you've done. And how did you fail? And if we fail, we will learn from our failures and start businesses. And I think that for the final message, like, if you don't try, you have never know how it's going to be.
Yeah, I agree. And thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for your questions. Such great questions. You are a great host. And yeah, I'm sure people, and hopefully people, get a lot from the episode. And I agree with you. If you don't try, you're never going to know. And I said this to a friend of mine the other day who is thinking about getting into online business. I said to him, if you keep doing, this is a quote that you guys have probably heard before, and he wants to not do, he's in construction and doesn't like his job, but he wants to get out of it. And I said to him, if you keep doing that, in 10 years time, where do you think you'll be? But if you change and you go down this online business path, after 10 years, where do you think you could be? Do you think you'd be in a better position? So obviously, if you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always got. So it's up to him to make the change and do something a bit different to be able to allow him to achieve a better result out of what he wants in his life.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you again. Have a lovely and fantastic day, and see you very soon here in our new episode. Thank you so much.
Yes.
It was lovely talking to you today. Thank you so much.
Likewise.
Bye for now. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.